Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new Project Motor Racing video here on the channel. Today we're going to be giving a deep dive into the long awaited career mode information that has just been released for the game. If you do want to go ahead and pre-order the game, guys, please do so via the link in the description. It will be down there as well as in the comments. Let me know if you do as well. I'll give you a nice heart and pin comment as well. So thank you very much for all the support so far. So let's go straight into today's video. Whenever you're given a blank slate to design a feature-length mode from scratch, simply looking across the aisle and copying someone else's work isn't going to win you a lot of fans. Sim racing as a hobby has existed for upwards of 40 years, and it's important to pay attention to how the hobby has evolved over time, and with that, the various playstyles and commitment levels that come with it. A bare bones championship in the hope you'll be satisfied with a "you're the winner" splash at the end of the screen isn't going to cut it. What's needed is maybe something a little more intense. And here we have the career mode in Project Motor Racing. Our goal for career mode in Project Motor Racing was to figure out how best answer that question. How do we make this fun for people who run 3 races, as well as the die-hard fans who can put in 20 or even 30 races into a campaign mode? Continuity issues. So obviously one of the first elements of any good racing game career mode is some sort of financial element. Race cars cost money to buy and operate, and it's cool when a game mirrors that. The issue though is that weird continuity stuff that arises across campaign modes. It's odd as an experienced sim racer to go from winning races on ranked online plugins to booting up a new sim and being told you're a nobody who needs to start in a 75 brake horsepower tin top. You are the same driver, and however some people do still prefer that classic climb up the motorsport ladder, so we can't assume that everyone's a sim racing veteran. And what is the solution to this? So, budgets to suit your ambition. In Project Motor Racing, you begin by picking from 3 preset starting budgets to craft the narrative that you want from career mode. Option 1, you can opt to start with around $75,000, which gives some freedom to choose in which amateur or low-level car you begin your career in. Option 2, if you want to jump right into GT3 or other similar classes, in the middle of the ladder, an option exists to start with roughly $600,000 in the bank, enough for a car and to register for your first championship. Just be sure to keep the fenders on it. Option 3, for those who want to chase immediate legacy and glory, you can opt to start out with $2 million. And then there's the 4th option, the one where you run your Historics program with an absurd amount of money to replicate the dentist turned amateur racer experience. You do you. These starting budgets have been carefully determined to ensure that there's no outright surplus of cash. In other words, you will have just enough in each of these options to get you off the ground and into your first championship at different points on the ladder. Now, anytime you insert a financial element into a racing game career, what often happens is that if you play your cards right, you wind up with this obscene surplus of cash with nothing really to spend it on. It can be disappointing because the best part about a career is typically the mid-game grind where your cash flow is still a resource that you're required to manage. Those little decisions you make on your way up the ladder and your performance in races have this tangible weight to them as a result. The goal was to capture that in a bottle and make it a constant element of your Project Motor Racing career mode. For inspiration, our game design director, Mr. Ogonowski, turned to his own family, who have been involved in NHRA drag racing since the 60s. One of the cousins is the current ET record holder in the NHRA's Nostalgia Funny Car class, and both his uncle and grandpa are actually in the Canadian Drag Racing Hall of Fame. When you're in that kind of family, you hear the financials discussed, over dinner, and how racing isn't particularly profitable. Yes, the 10 grand novelty check looks cool in photos, but food, transportation for the weekend, etc. was $13,000. You've won the event, your photo's in the Dragster Hall of Fame, and you've lost 3 grand. That's the secret sauce, maybe not as punishing, but it's kind of in the same ballpark as this career mode. So each championship in Project Motor Racing has an entry fee, and each individual race has an individual travel fee to simulate at a streamlined level the fact that your team must physically travel to the event, which may be a half the world away. Damage repairs are also something you'll need to keep in mind. Pro tip, just don't crash. If you're a race team in North America, flying across the Atlantic to race in Europe is quite the odyssey compared to jumping on the interstate and heading 3 hours north to Lime Rock Park. So they've brought that into the career mode as well. If you set your team's home region to North America, for example, you'll receive a discount when signing up for North American Championships, travelling to North American races and buying North American cars. There is a catch though, obviously. All championships in the game are structured to pay based on their real world stature. Starting your team in Asia to run the Asian GT3 Championship might look affordable at first, but Asia's not really known for their GT3 scene. They love their silhouette cars. The novelty check at the end of the season might therefore be missing a few zeros, and you might find yourself opting to try your luck in Germany, travel expenses and everything else accounted for. Save up enough and you can offset this problem by moving to a different region, mimicking for instance what some real world Asian marquees have done by setting up their operations in Europe. Whether you're trying to find the optimal path through your career or roleplay with your own backstory, Project Motor Racing gives you the tools to do that. It's no secret that auto racing in 2025 looks a bit different than a generation ago. Genuinely turning a profit off race payouts alone isn't happening. A publicly released document that detailed payouts for the 2023 Daytona 24 Hours tells its own story, because winning that event you only win $25,000. Some of you have like sim rigs that are worth more than that now, which is incredible and wild, but since the goal is authenticity in this game, the career race payouts will reflect that reality, which means that the other half of the spectrum is a sponsorship mechanic. We can't have everyone running at a loss to prove some point about modern motorsport, and it also doesn't work the way it did in the 1990s, which is how a lot of the games with sponsorship mechanics still work to this day. Few brands are offering a lucrative contract with millions showered upon last year's champion, for example. And that's just not how racing works anymore. Hasn't worked that way since around 2008 when there was the financial crisis. So how does it really work? So as part of the design, they've studied professional motorsport sponsorship courses, and what was stressed time and time again was the individuality of it all. Each sponsorship deal is something the team, the driver and the brand all mutually come to an agreement over. So what they've done is to replicate this on the negotiation side of the sponsorship that occurs in modern motorsport. You get to pick your sponsorship profile from 8 different archetypes at the beginning of each season. So a small example of this is you can opt for a guaranteed flat fee for every race, which is a safe bet if you want your financials to remain predictable. Option 2, you can try your hand at something a little spicier with a higher flat fee if you finish on the podium. And third, your sponsor can exclusively cover damage repairs or entry fees and operational costs. The idea is that your sponsorship model is something you pick carefully, because this needs to ensure you stay in the black, because there is a red and you can go under zero. Like a lot of race teams, expect to operate quite close to it if things don't go your way. In other words, the sponsorship you negotiate may look good on paper, but if you don't perform on the track, you may be out of a career. Here's the fun part. Authentic mode features no restarts and is toggled on by default because that's the intended mode of play. You're of course welcome to switch to traditional mode and get restarts as well as your own curated AI difficulty, of course, but that's what sets from the start authentic mode. The goal isn't to win a bunch of championships and to collect all the cars, it's to survive financially from weekend to weekend and approach each event the way real race teams do. Think of it as a survival horror in the scorching cockpit of a GT3 car. They want you to feel fear when a wreck in front of you appears the way real drivers do. They want you to feel sad about finishing 5th and not 3rd the way real drivers are, and they want that gut-wrenching feeling that happens when the rear end breaks loose and you're barreling towards the wall, knowing that this will probably be the end of your car for the season. They want you to be elated when you come out of the final corner and live to fight that next race. Whether you get 3 races in or 30, you'll get to experience all of this, all of the emotion, all of the power, all of the thrill in Project Motor Racing. So how about that, guys? What do you reckon to that? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. That is career mode in Project Motor Racing, coming out later this year as well. If you want to pre-order the game, guys, and experience this for yourself, use the link in the description. It will also be in the comments as well. That's it for me in today's video, guys. Please let me know if you enjoyed today's video by leaving a like rating on the video, hitting that subscribe button as well if you are new, and that bell icon being ticked so you never miss out on any future Project Motor Racing videos here on the channel. But anyway, guys, that is it for me in today's video. If you did enjoy it, please like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you over in my next video, guys. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.